here going over the 10-minute stretch for the event at the convention center for the home show. So supine cervical traction. Slowly, gradually taking that spine from point A to point B and holding it there for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and most importantly, slowly releasing this stretch. And when you get to the end of the stretch, you can always ask the patient if they feel like you can go a little bit more into that stretch. Now we're going to go right into the rhomboid stretch. I'm going to grab the forearm, wrist area, and then we're going to grab the scapular blade and pull it over. You want to get under the wing of the scapula. How are we doing with that, okay?
Good.
And we're going to hold that for 10 seconds and let it relax. Go down this way. Arm, and pull that scapular blade. 10 seconds. So when you're doing this stretch, if you want to kind of keep an eye on the patient's hips, make sure the hips are staying on the table, not rolling them too much. You can see the more we stretch. How are we doing with that? Okay.
Yeah.
The hip is coming up, so you want to instruct the patient to keep their hips locked onto the table. And we're going to go into the lumbar traction. Rolling the hips out just a little bit. You can push down on the table with both your hands and hold that gradually, and then we're going to hold that for 10 seconds. And communicating with the patient is key. How does that feel? Can we go a little bit more or less, or is
You
it
can
good?
go a little more.
A little bit more. And you can ask that question with each stretch as you're counting mentally. And then the main thing, very, very, very important with this one, is a slow gradual release. All right, so now we did the cervical traction, lumbar traction, rhomboid stretch. Now we're going to go into the hamstring stretch. So with the hamstring stretch, we're going to roll the hip in 1, 2, 3. Roll it out 1, 2, and 3. And with the knee, very important not to create hyperextension or extend the knee. Slight bending is fine. Neutral is even fine. And we're going to bring that up to where it feels comfortable. We go up a little bit more. You're comfortable where it's at.
That's good.
Okay. And we're going to hold it there for 10 seconds. And depending on how we are doing with time, there may be people that can't lay face down. And you want to spend more time with them laying on their back. You can do the same routine with the foot turned in and the foot turned out. I'm going to do the opposite leg. Oh, I'm sorry. Rewind. We're going to stay on that side, and we're going to go into the lumbar roll. So we're going to bring the knee up. Then the opposite leg comes across the midline. We're going to turn the foot in, and you're going to hold that foot ankle area, and you're going to push that knee in the opposite direction. How is that feeling?
Good.
Can you go a little bit more? Or comfortable where it's at?
Could do a little more.
And right in there. And you're going to hold that stretch for 10 seconds. And then bring that foot back into the midline, past the midline. Now we're going to go into the piriformis stretch. So that leg is right there. Turn the leg in, and then roll it. Bring the knee to the chest. And how we feeling?
That's good.
Good right there. Holding that stretch for 10 seconds. And very important when we're coming out of this stretch, straighten the leg at the knee first, and then the leg down. Okay, now we're going to go on to the opposite side for the hamstring. Oh, rewind. Roll the leg 3 times in. Roll the leg 3 times out. So practice will make perfect. So if you watch this video 500 times, you won't forget little things like that. Maybe I did that purposely so you guys won't forget it. And how we doing with that?
That's good.
Okay, 10 seconds. Slowly release it. And we're gonna go right into the lumbar roll, legs flexed, opposite leg. Here's midline, we're gonna go across the midline, turn the foot in, and we're gonna pull that, push that foot out. And how we doing with that?
Good.
More or less, or
Let's do a little
a
more.
little bit more? There we go. Then you're gonna hold that stretch for 10 seconds. And then slowly come back, bring that foot back to the midline. Yes. And then the knees are already bent, so turn the foot in and bring that leg up. This is for the piriformis. How we doing? More or less? Or
That's
good?
good.
Good right where we're at. And then when we're coming out of this stretch, remember straighten at the knee first, and then bring the leg down. Alrighty. So now we're going to go into the massage portion of the supine position. Massage tool. Hold the button to turn it on. See the leg go on there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 to get it up to top speed. Gonna get on that upper trap. Try to avoid the anterior cervical muscles. 10 seconds, so 10 stretches. Ooh, okay, there we go, that's a good one. And then we'll go right into the IV band. And again, asking the patient, is it a little too much? And if it is, we'll go down to 3 bars. You can see this intensity is 3. Sorry about that on the other side. Is that a little better?
Yeah.
10 seconds or so to get into that IT band. And again, you can always communicate with the patient more or less with the massage tool. And that is the supine component. And now let's take a lay face down. So for prone, we have the thoracic stretch. So we're going to make sure you're on the inside part of the spine and the scapular ridge. So right in that groove. So we'll go 10 strokes there. 1, 2, and don't be afraid to get up into the upper trap. 3, and how we doing with that? More pressure,
Good.
less pressure, or good work? What's
That's
that?
good.
Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then what you can do, you can go right into the lumbar portion of this, since we're right on the same side. So we're gonna go start off at the base here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're gonna hold the thoracic spine and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then crossing the arms, using your hand to support that SI joint. 10 seconds there. 1, 2, 3. And always asking the question, how we doing, a little bit more or less, or good where it's at.
Good.
Okay, and with that, fully release that. Okay, so it may make sense to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, well, right where they're on the same time side for the sake of time. Now we're going to go into the 10 strokes in the rhomboid again. And how's that pressure? We're doing good?
Good.
Okay. And you'll know, like, after you do one side, you know, what the tolerance level is for the patient you're working on. But it doesn't hurt to ask. And again, you know, you can put the whole hand on the scapular area, but most of the pressure is going to go through that palm of the hand, right through those muscles. And then we're going to go right into the lower back. And you can do equal amount of pressure with each hand. You can pull with the left hand as much as you're pushing with the right. And same thing here. Go this way. Here goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes that gets a little confusing there. And now for the lumbar traction. Gonna get right on that SI joint or that ridge and hold it there for 10 seconds. And again, very important to slowly release that stretch. Okay, now we're gonna get into the legs. So quadricep muscle. Typically, you'll bring the foot to the glute area, and that'll be a good enough stretch. But if there's still a lot of room, you can bring that leg up. And how are we doing with that?
That's good.
Okay. 10 seconds. And then bring that leg up. And now you bring the foot out. And you can see with my opposite hand, I'm supporting that sacral area and maybe even pulling a little bit toward me. How are we doing with that stretch?
Yeah, that's good.
And then we're going the opposite direction. You can see my right hand is pushing a little bit, but also keeping that pelvic area flush on the table, because if it wasn't there, you can see that it's going to pop up, and we don't want that. It's going to decrease the stretch. Then we'll bring that back down, and same thing on the opposite side. We'll go around the other way. Bringing the heel to the buttocks. That's typically going to be a good stretch, but in this case, we're going to bring the knee up just a tad. How are we doing with that?
That's good.
Slowly release it down and bringing the leg back up to that 45-degree angle. And left hand creating support, actually pulling a little bit toward me. How we doing there?
Good.
Okay. And communicating, with the patient in regards to how they're stretching is very important. And then also explaining to them the importance of what a stretch therapist does. And we'll get over that. We'll discuss that in a little bit. And then there was that. And I believe we covered all of the prone stretches. So now we're going to get into the massage portion. And how we doing on time?
12.
12 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So if there's people waiting, you'll find the areas as you're getting used to this, maybe where if you wanted to cut corners and skip or work quickly through, and that could be on the massage area. But this is actually my first time going through this routine, so I'm thinking if we guys do this a few times, we can get this down in closer to 10. All right, very good. So we'll